too have no food at their homes and have not received any support that was promised by government 3 weeks into the lockdown. For the second time this week, residents surrounded the constituency office, thus vowing not to leave until they receive food. They say they are aware that the office is giving the monthly distribution of food parcels to food bank beneficiaries, but these are unique times and hunger has left them with no choice.
How can the food bank only benefit a few people? All the residents must get food because every home has been affected by the lockdown. We can't go to work or walk in the streets without the police beating us up and telling us to go home. The councillor must ensure that we all get food, or else he must step down so we get a new councillor.
Food that the minister is giving. We don't get the Harambe food. Now we must give the food that the minister is giving. What we want is that.
We are suffering here because of hunger. They said the 750 will come this week, but we are still waiting while we are starving in our homes.
Until when must we wait? Even me, I'm unemployed for 2 years, but I was written off from the food bank program. I'm still waiting to be conducted, but until now we are waiting. We are still at the waiting list. So please, the Ministry of Poverty, come and look into the food bank program of Moses Garwe constituency. We are suffering. We are starving. We need the ministry. Please come.
The crowds were eventually dispersed by the law enforcement, with some taken in for refusing to budge. But this did not deter the desperate residents as they kept coming back and shouting for food. A police official leading the contingent on site said the councillor needs protection as he already had to be escorted into the office by an armed force for his safety. A clearly shaken councillor, Martin David, said that he understands the frustration and desperation of his community, but his office has not received any food for coronavirus relief purposes from government.
Now the situation, people don't have food. They demand food from all the councillors, from all the constituency councillors. You talk about this councillor, Moses Karwo, you talk about other constituency, so it's almost the same, the whole country. So that is the situation. Now today, we have a program of people who receive food bank. Now that we have invited those who receive food bank to come and collect their food, so then as usual we used to do it through radios, announcement, so that people can come to the office and collect their food because they are members of the food bank program. So then the others heard the announcement and they also come. Everybody come. As you are listening to them, they are complaining, they are talking, they are they are make some screaming. They also need the food. They want to try, blocking. They want to create that situation of unlawful, and then it's because apparently they got enough water at their houses, at their locations, but they don't have food. So now we are trying to help those who are in need, who are suffering really.
Many of the residents say they have applied for the emergency income grant and received no feedback on the intervention that was supposed to have reached the applicants by Tuesday. The Ministry of Finance sent out a statement on Wednesday stating that they have received over 320,000 applications through the SMS line. It also said that nearly 180,000 were rejected, while 146,000 applicants will soon be receiving the ones of 750 Namibia dollars each.
Good afternoon. My name is Sikunanda Roma, and I'm a medical intern at the Katutura State Hospital. We, as individuals, you and I, have the opportunity to take control and fight this by staying home, by staying safe, and by staying informed. I appeal to the more fortunate that we lend a helping hand to the more vulnerable and the disadvantaged, especially those in our informal settlements. We should stand together, listen to what we are being told, and together as a country, we can get through this.
The Health Ministry spokesperson said that the ministry is aware of a patient who recently died at a private hospital, and the ministry is currently investigating whether the cause of death could be COVID-19 related. The Health Ministry also announced that another patient has recovered from the COVID-19 disease, which means Namibia has a total of 4 recoveries from the 16 confirmed cases of people who tested positive for the coronavirus disease.
With regards to case number 3, he is one of our recoveries and has been discharged over about 2 weeks ago. So he doesn't necessarily need to be repatriated. His visa, if I understand it correctly, is still valid, and he is still in the country waiting for a fellow traveler of his to also be cleared of the virus. But there's no need to repatriate them once they have been cleared as recovered.
Dr. Theoben Kandetu also added that the Health Ministry is currently investigating whether the events that led to the death of a patient at a private hospital is COVID-19 related.
There are no new deaths from COVID-19. So the case you are referring to from Roman Catholic Hospital is still being investigated. The patient was swabbed, was tested, and the test will be run today. But as I mentioned to you, the events that led to her death are still being investigated. So there's nothing to report at this stage. Now, having said that, the ministry does have a comprehensive set of standard operating procedures in terms of in terms of management of corpses. We apply these SOPs in state. We have been doing so for some years now. The SOPs are there. So regarding this case, that is all I can report now at this stage, as the investigation is ongoing.
Kandetu informed the public that as part of the ministry's standard procedure, the test results of the patient who died at a private hospital will be communicated to the next of kin before the public is made aware. There are currently 81 people in mandatory quarantine facilities around the country.
Oh dear, I'm not very good at swimming.
Look, over there.
What is it, Jabu?
I'm not sure. Can you see what it is?
Come on, everybody, let's go down. Come on, let's go down.
With the outbreak of the novel coronavirus, Namibia has to date only recorded 16 cases, which were mainly travel-related cases. At the daily COVID-19 update recently, the former Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Bernard Haufiku, has called for a mass testing, as he described the 16 recorded cases in Namibia as too good to be true. Haufiku responded to whether Namibia has infections through local transmissions. The former health minister said that currently, local transmissions can only be suspected cases.
It's very difficult at this stage to say that we have community transmission. We can only suspect, and we have very good reasons to suspect. Why I'm saying that is that so far we had imported cases. We tried to capture them. We tried to trace those people who were in contact with these imported cases. We captured as many of them and put them in isolation, and those we tested to be positive, we treat them accordingly. That is what we call passive surveillance strategy, and that is what really we have been following. More targeted, more focused strategy, but not what we call active surveillance. Basically what it means that we go out, even in this room, and we take out 3 or 4 people, even if they're not coughing, and then we test them. We go to the hospital outpatient department, we test them, or we go to a shop and get about 3 or 5 people and test them. We go to the lab or so. And then we get a sample that is enough, what we call enough powered, meaning a good number of people that we test, and we see how many of these people we tested will come out positive. And these people should not have a traveling history, because otherwise it's not community transmission. They must be just people who live here in their normal life. Some of them may be having flu symptom, not meeting all the testing criteria. Then we can make a determination, yes, we have community transmission. At the moment, we can only suspect, and I have a strong suspicion that we have community transmission. It's a matter of finding it. Why I'm saying that is because we are almost 2 months plus into the pandemic. Hardly happened that community transmission doesn't take place. Maybe not symptomatic, but there must be some activity brewing underneath there already.
Haufiku has also called for a mass testing in the country, as it is alarming that since the outbreak of the novel pandemic, the country still has only 16 confirmed cases.
Something I would be surprised by, and very, very pleasantly surprised, that we only have these 16 cases linked to the imported cases, and then we go down to June, July, not picking up others. That would be a very, very pleasant and unusual surprise. Something that worth more investigation to find out exactly what are other determining factors that made Namibia so unique, because we are basically on top of the world. If you look at the graphs, we are one of the best doing countries, as much as we haven't tested enough. But if you look at the 16 cases, and you go back in time, for the last 10 days, no case was picked up. But we've been testing every day. No case picked up. The drawback is the fact that we tested far, far fewer people than we should. But we also tested them according to defined criteria at the stage where we were. So it's not a bad or entirely bad thing. All we need to do is perhaps to test more, to also build up database, because these are the issues that are guiding our strategy. If we go to May 4th and we still have 16 cases, what's the point of lockdown anyway? So we need to be guided by the data. And we get the data by going in the field and do more testing. Yeah, I'm not really a pessimist, and I wouldn't want anyone. In this difficult time, nobody should be pessimistic. We must be perhaps cautious optimistic. That's the term. And it's a very delicate balance, by the way. We're talking about lives of people, which we need to protect. But we also have an economy at stake, so all of these things must come into play. And then we must balance very, very delicately. So it would be dangerous for us to assume that the 400 cases we tested are the only one. Scientifically, it doesn't even make sense. But it would be a very good thing to assume there are some more there, and we try to test. Even if we don't pick up anything, then we will be relaxed and say, look, we have done our work, rather than assuming based on the number of the cases that we have tested.
To date, Namibia has 554 tested cases, 16 results were confirmed, 12 are active cases, 4 of the cases are fully recovered, and 0 deaths.
My name is Mona. I'm a physiotherapist. Life, as we know, has changed, and physical interaction is limited. Exercise is more important than ever. Exercise to improve your lung function. At home, stay safe.
Law enforcement has urged members of the public to take into consideration lockdown regulations when on daily walkouts. Goma's regional commander for the Namibian police, while on patrol, warned a group of joggers to keep a 1-meter distance when exercising, as well as adhering to the maximum of not more than 3 people per group.
Regulation 9 is talk about confinement, that you should confine yourself in your houses. But you are breaking that confinement. It went on to say, of that regulation, that you can exercise. But when you are exercising, you should not be more than 3. But what we are seeing here is a group of people, is a gathering of people. And you are not only violating regulation number 9 of confinement, you are also violating regulation 4 or regulation 5, which is talking about public gatherings, a gathering of more than 10 people. So we really want to educate you. We could define you now, but I will not go to such an extent because we know we need to educate you.
Trainer at Trinity Fitness Namibia says that while at home, members of the public can stay fit by establishing a regular fitness routine.
What most people struggle with during lockdown, because you're at home all the time, when you're allowed to move around and allowed to go to the gym, you have a designated place where you're going to be working out, you have a designated time that you like to go work out. So what I like to suggest to people that are trying to get into the same routine at home is also have a designated place, whether it be on the porch or in your garage or something. It's a nice designated area. It doesn't have to be a big area, obviously, especially if some people have gym equipment at home, and that's great. Some people don't. If you don't have, then you just have a nice little open area that you can train in, and then try to have a designated time as well that you try to work out in every day. So if you used to work out Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, try to stick to that routine as much as possible.
Fitness enthusiasts said Namibians should be thankful for the lockdown, as it's an opportunity to spend more time with family members and learn something new.
Let us not look at the lockdown from more as a negative thing, but let's embrace it as well as time to spend time with the family, time to be indoor, time to spend time at home, but also make use of that opportunity to ensure your fitness, ensure time to read. Many of us don't have time even to read our own Bible. We are Christian, we people that are called Christian. Many of us have been having time always to have time for at bars, at alcohol, and as you were reading about the reports of even accidents and crime have reduced in this moment, and it's because of really that the government is setting up regulations, and it's for our own benefit. I really believe it's for our own benefit.
According to the World Health Organization, physical activity is vital for the human body and mind, as it relieves mental tension and improves blood circulation and muscle activity.
Today with Joseph Prince.
Even though the law sounds tempting, you can produce instant results. Amen. It's a cover-up. It's all a veneer. It's all outward. It's all behavior modification. But grace, when it transforms you, be patient when you put people under grace. Sometimes there's no immediate result, but when the results come, it's permanent. It's solid. It's real. It's abundant, both in quality and quantity. Amen.
In other leading stories, the Ministry of Labour, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation has recorded a high number of retrenchments compared to other quarters of the year. For the first time in history, for the past 5 years, a total of 1,946 employees were retrenched in a single quarter. This retrenchment episode involved 144 employers, whereby Commerce Region recorded a huge number of 1,041 employees, followed by Iranga Region with 492 employees. According to the previous retrenchment statistics, some regions such as Kunene, Zambezi and Kavango East have never reported retrenchments before, but during this quarter, they have recorded 4, 14 and 33 retrenchments respectively. During the review period, 2,244 job seekers were registered, adding to an already high number of registered job seekers available on the ministry's employment portal. The ministry only managed to place 55 job seekers this quarter. It continues to engage employers to make use of the portal for recruitment as prescribed by law. In the ministry's fourth quarter report, it also noted that Namibia is no exception to violence and harassment in the world of work, which has a huge negative impact on labor. As a result, Namibia plans to ratify the International Labour Organization Convention number 190 and its recommendations number 206. In order to ensure that the Affirmative Action Act is given effect by all employers, the Employment Equity Commission had 46 stakeholders engagements during this quarter, while 42 workplace visits were also conducted.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from the hottest social media pages. Residents from the Ochemisa constituency have displayed their disappointment in the Komasta Regional Council Office representatives as they are allegedly being unfair with the distribution of the grants that were made available by the government. Meloti said that they have the same problem in Banaeda as they received expired food. Joanna said when people call the community for meetings, they refuse to attend. Ronial said that it's true that some benefit and some don't. Krista said that everyone should benefit from the food as the lockdown affects everyone. Road maintenance company Earth Logic handed over 9 hospital beds to the Health Ministry for COVID-19 patients. Kambani said that government is only waiting for donations and was supposed to buy those beds a long time ago. Francisca wished the entire team well for a job well done. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today on One.
Akili, Akili, this is Akili. She has a secret. Tell us, tell us. When the sun goes down, Akili goes to sleep, and she enters a world where all the animals speak. Akili, 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 Akili. But there is something strange about this magic land. The animals speak English which she doesn't understand, but if you help her out, we know it can be done. Akili can learn English and it will be fun. Akili!
Catch your favorite local music show on One Africa Television every Friday evening, now at 9 o'clock, and the repeats on Saturdays at 5:30 and Tuesday evenings at 9:30.
A look at the weather forecast. The Namibia interior, mostly sunny and hot in the south. Elsewhere, partly cloudy and warm to hot with a few thunder showers in the north at places. Windy weather will prevail in the interior. The coast, partly cloudy and warm to hot, and the wind moderate to fresh northeasterly to northwesterly but fresh southerly in the south. Now a look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.